Okay, so you relapsed, and now you're feeling bad. You're feeling terrible, you're feeling shit, you keep talking down on yourself, you're a failure, you're weak, and all these kind of stuff. But if you really zoom out and look at it from a different angle, everything is just creating in your own mind, in your own illusion. And if we just remove this whole concept with relapses, that we are failing, we don't suffer. It doesn't matter whatever it is. If you're practicing a diet that is very strict, you're practicing semen retention, you're taking ice baths every day, or you're meditating every day, you're doing journaling every day, reading, whatever it is, and you're failing. But if we remove this idea that we are like doing something that we shouldn't be doing, everything changes. And if we instead just view it as an experience, and you're allowing yourself to make mistakes, I mean, we're changing everything. Because in the end of the day, I mean, everything is going to come from, our happiness is going to come from us being in balance with ourselves. I'm not saying that we shouldn't like keep track on days if we want to like implement a good new habit. That's what I do. If it's something I want to keep doing, I want to learn something new, of course I'm going to practice it and I'm going to keep doing it. But I've learned after doing semen retention now for 3 years that the only times that I've really been suffering, like I talked about in the last video there I made about all these kind of ideas and concepts that we create in our own minds, but the only time that I've really been suffering, the only form of suffering I've experienced is the mental suffering. Physically, I felt pretty good every time I relapsed, but the mental aspect have been completely opposite. And that's only because I created this idea in my mind. But at the end of the day, like last time when I talked about it, that I relapsed, I felt amazing because I didn't create any suffering in my mind. I let it happen. I wanted to have that experience because I wanted to see, I wanted to do an experiment. It doesn't mean that we're gonna keep doing it every day. It's not the thing I'm talking about here. But one thing that I learned is that living a life with boxes and unnecessarily like new ideas that we form because we want certain things to be in a specific way, it's not gonna make us feel better. It's just not. I notice a lot of people, they tend to get into the whole rabbit hole with different practices. I mentioned a few there in the beginning. And they sometimes say that I started doing this because I wanted to heal my mental health issues. But if you're gonna be really honest with yourself, like everything starts from you not being emotional in balance. And if you think that keeping a certain streak alive, and you're like creating this idea in yourself that if I'm not doing it, I'm not gonna feel good, then you're just creating a prison in your life. And I don't think that's gonna be very healthy for you. Because when it comes to health, a lot of times we really forget about the mental side of health. Because the body reacts to our emotions, our thoughts, what we actually say. And the body doesn't know if you're saying things in a humoristic way or that you're serious. It just reacts on the words and the vibrations. But if we can get to a point instead where we're just content with being, like I am now, sitting here in the woods in a beautiful spring day. Now I'm just sitting here, I hear the birds, I hear the wind, I hear the water from a river here. And I'm gonna keep sitting here after I'm done with this video. Because this is a relaxing. And this is what it's all about. If you can get to the place where you can just sit here and enjoy it, that's a good place, that's a happy place. That's an experience. And I think we have to remove away from this. Sometimes one of the illusions that we fall into is to, when we are talking about like personal development and growth, we're creating these goals for ourselves, is that we get too obsessed with them. We're putting the goals on the same pedestal that we put the practice. And that's where we put in the word relapse as well. Because if we don't do our goals, if we don't do the practice, then we are a failure. I much more got to this place now where I see it in a bigger picture. If you just have no direction and you're taking small steps every day, you're gonna be fine. Because we can look at a lot of people in the world who is successful when it comes to wealth. A lot of the people, it doesn't have to be like that. It can be celebrities and stuff like that. They are not very happy with themselves. That's why they kill themselves. That's why they take a lot of drugs, artificial and man-made stuff, because they want to feel a hit. They want to feel something that they can't feel inside. They get alcoholics, addicted to alcohol and stuff. They have bad health, all this kind of stuff. So what I learned actually, I'm gonna give you a little example actually. It's actually a pretty recent experience I had. From a few weekends ago, I record actually a few videos with a friend to me. She's a girl. It's a girl. I've been knowing her for 2 years, and from the first time I met her, I felt like she was really something out of the ordinary. I had a lot of stuff in common with her, and she was smart. I could have a very high intellectual conversation with her, and so we hung out a few weeks ago, and we started talking about relationships and sex and stuff, and she mentioned that she was seeing this guy, and I noticed that my emotions just boiled over. I got really upset. I got sad. And the only reason why I got sad was because I have created this idea in my mind that this evening should be in a certain way, that what unfolds should be in a way that wanted to meet my expectations. And that wasn't the same with her. And that's what made me suffer and feeling very bad. And I also learned that semen retention didn't help me in that situation. Not at all. I was still in emotional imbalance. And I was suffering from the mind, because it's everything that I've created in my own mind. But if I can just drop those ideas, everything feels good. But I'm very happy with a few things because I didn't run away from it. For a second I just wanted to go out and walk for myself and just ignore her. But I didn't. I just sat with it. I sat with my emotions. I felt everything. And we had an amazing talk. And it felt very good. We had a great conversation. And I really felt that was a good experience for me. Because in those places, that's where we grow. But I also learned, like I said, semen retention that I thought was this so important practice didn't help me at all. And I'm gonna be honest, but I've had some periods like on my job, on my workplace, that I can be pretty upset and pissed about things, material things. And I'm creating another idea that I should be in another place, a different place than I am now. And semen retention didn't help me there either. So it's the same with relapses. It's things we create in the mind that makes us suffer. So the whole point of this video, my message, to wrap this up, is that stop creating illusions and ideas and concepts that you have to follow 100% strictly. And it can sound weird that I'm start talking about this all of a sudden, because I have been talking in a different way before in my videos about semen retention, but that's because I've changed my mind. I've been hearing new perspective out of things, and I also experienced another thing now because of these things that have happened to me. And I realized that everything is ideas that we create, and we're just listening too much to other people. We should have like a detox of information. You should consume information, definitely, so that you get a grip of how the world works, what you are. You get an understanding of health, nutrition, but don't overdo it, because you will suffer. You will never be satisfied. It's like everything. That's why the virtues are a very good way to follow, to use them and to implement them when things get too much. But if we do it too much as well, that gets another obsession, and we're building a new box. So everything comes down to this pendulum, to be in a balanced state. Everything comes down to that. We are both masculine and feminine. We have both energies. But sometimes we are too much on the masculine side, on the masculine brain, the left brain. We have to start using the right brain more. That's where caring, creativity, imagination, all this kind of stuff is. So I hope you got something good out of this. I'm gonna keep walking here on this lovely day in early April, and I want to wish you a great start of the new week, and I hope we can talk soon again. So take care now. For so long. Bye.